Welcome to our June 24th, 2026 Western Massachusetts Waterfall trip as we travel 235 miles through the back roads of the Berkshires as part of Chris's Father's Day gift to me. We spend the day hiking to Wahconah Falls, Glendale Falls, and Umpachene Falls.
Very much. It's down at the senior center. Yeah.
Here we are off on a family adventure to 4 waterfalls in Western Mass today. We first stopped for breakfast at Euphoria Bakery and Cafe, a popular family-owned bakery and cafe located in Haydenville, Mass. And we're going to stop for breakfast at Euphoria in Williamsburg, Massachusetts. The cafe is highly regarded for its scratch-made sourdough breads, pastries, gourmet pizzas, and commitment to using organic, locally sourced ingredients. The menu highlights include traditional sourdoughs made with natural starters and long fermentation, a diverse selection of pastries and desserts including pecan sticky buns, chocolate bouchons, bear claws, fruit and cheese danishes, whoopie pies, and weekend-only pretzels, a pretzel croissant combination. The cafe serves house-made soups, salads, and sandwiches utilizing in-house roasted meats and local produce, and gourmet scratch-made pizzas with house-made sauce. A full espresso bar serves lattes, cappuccinos, mochas, and homemade chai. We opted for simple breakfast sandwiches. We've got our morning breakfast.
Be sure to catch the cool painting.
Nice breakfast sandwiches.
And there's a cool painting. Look at the cool painting.
And there's a cool painting.
Get up and go over there.
And there's a basset hound painting. Hanging on the wall was a reproduction of the artwork used for the album cover of Enter the Conquering Chicken, the second and final studio album by the influential Seattle punk rock band The Gits. The painting features a stylized haloed man sitting alongside a large surreal rooster or chicken. As we were down to a quarter tank of gas, we decided to purchase fuel at Friendly Fred's Food and Fuel, a highly rated, charm-filled country store and gas station located in Windsor, Massachusetts. It functions as a local community staple and a convenient roadside oasis for travelers along Route 9. We now made our way to Wahconah Falls State Park. We now arrived at our first stop, Wahconah Falls State Park in Dalton, Massachusetts. Wahconah Falls State Park is a scenic 48-acre forested public reservation. It is managed by the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation, and the park protects a striking 40-foot tiered waterfall created where Wahconah Falls Brook cascades over a Beckett-Neese rock formation. It's open daily from sunrise to dusk, and parking is completely free. It was a short 1/10 of a mile hike to the falls from the parking lot with minimal elevation change. The trail can be extended into a 1.1 mile out and back hike along the brook that leads directly to the Windsor Reservoir Dam, but we opted not to take the extended hike that day. We're starting our way down the trail to the waterfalls. You can already hear it from here, so it's probably not that long of a trip.
One that is drawing attention. But what a lovely spot to have a picnic. Yeah.
It's a very short trail to the waterfalls. After a 1/10 of a mile hike, we arrived at the falls viewpoint.
Here's a view of the waterfall. Doesn't seem to be that long of a, maybe 2/10 of a mile to get here. I'm not sure. It's not a very long trail to get here, but it's a nice little waterfall, as you can see, going into this stream.
The Wahconah Falls brook flows over several smaller falls before ending in the 40-foot tiered main cascade. I would suspect that the falls would be especially impressive during the spring runoff. Several shaded picnic tables and charcoal grills are available overlooking the water, making it a perfect spot for families and lunch stops. Fishing is allowed downstream in the brook, and while absolute swimming is prohibited due to dangerous undercurrents, visitors are permitted to wade in the shallow pools to cool off.
And this is at the bottom of the falls. A little bit slippery getting down here. And this is a big boulder that's sitting here in the middle of it. Probably dropped by a glacier or something. This is another view of the boulder closer to the middle of the stream. And there the falls not that way.
This giant rock is a glacial erratic boulder, a massive stone left behind by retreating glaciers. These boulders were picked up by massive ice sheets during the last ice age, the Pleistocene epoch. When the climate warmed and the glaciers melted away, roughly 12 to 14,000 years ago in New England, they dropped these heavy stones in random fields, forests, and stream beds. They are called erratics because their rock type typically differs from the native bedrock underneath them, proving they traveled from somewhere else.
And here's an interesting fungi.
This is a coral mushroom consistent with the genus Romeria. These fungi are named for their distinctive upright, branching structures that closely mimic marine coral reefs. Identifying exact species within the Romeria genus often requires microscopic analysis of spores or chemical testing. While some coral mushrooms are considered edible, many species are toxic or act as a severe laxative. Because toxic lookalikes are common, foraging or consuming them is highly discouraged without expert confirmation. We now made our way to Glendale Falls.
And we are now at Glendale Falls. This is in Huntington, Mass.
Glendale Falls is one of Massachusetts' tallest and most powerful cascade waterfalls, plunging 160 feet over ancient rock ledges down into the middle branch of the Westfield River. The free, year-round 60-acre property is preserved, owned, and managed by the trustees of reservations. The Glendale Falls Trail is a moderately challenging 0.3-mile out-and-back hike. The trailhead sits at the top of the falls, right by the parking lot. This lets you enjoy the dramatic upper falls immediately before heading down. Before heading onto the trail, we first stopped at the informational signs at the trailhead.
And here we are. It's Westfield River, Glendale Falls. It's part of the National Wild and Scenic Rivers System.
Yeah, it is. You saw that rock? Yeah, I knew exactly which one you were talking about. Okay.
What's that?
Pretty well. Yeah. Nice piece of granite. There's that quartz. Oh. Aren't they more or less the same?
This informational trailhead sign for the Westfield River focuses on the middle branch at Glendale Falls. The center feature is a detailed topographical map tracing the middle branch and surrounding segments of the Westfield River watershed. The left-hand panel highlights local wildlife and plants you can spot along the trail. The right-hand panel provides context on Glendale Falls, which stands as one of the longest and most powerful waterfall drops in the state. This is the welcome and informational sign for Glendale Falls. It features a map of the trails. We now made our way to the top of the falls.
And there's lots of mountain laurel in bloom right now. Over here we're at probably the top of the falls. I guess there's another trail that goes down to the bottom.
Here we see the feeder stream of the falls. Here we are looking towards the crest of the falls. As Glendale Brook was at a relatively low flow, I was able to cross over it to the Gristmill ruins.
Water.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Well, yeah, it's fine.
There seems to be some sort of stone building out here. Here's the building. Just got to be careful of the poison ivy here.
This area once belonged to the 18th century Glendale farm established in the early 1770s by Revolutionary War veteran John Rhodes. These are the stone foundations of an old gristmill in the woods just north of the falls. I now made my way as close as I could to the crest of the falls. The low flow of the brook allowed me to get close to the drop-off, but the rocks became wet and slippery, so I headed back to the trail. We now headed on the trail towards the base of Glendale Falls.
Yourself when you slip? Oh no, I was fine. Okay. I'm just annoyed that my pants got dirty. Oh.
We're now going down the trail to the
Yeah.
other part of the falls.
The trail dropped in elevation about 100 feet. It was a series of stairs and switchbacks and took about 15 minutes to descend. The trail culminated in the reservation boundary.
I've now reached the boundary of how far you can go. It's private property going down further. And this is the end of the track. I imagine in the spring, when all the water's coming down, this is quite the view. This is a slightly different view of the falls. Going to the same area. And now we'll be heading back up.
We now made our way back up to the trailhead. Here is a beautiful moss-covered glacial erratic boulder sitting next to the forested hiking trail. It features prominent fracturing and layering, typical of ancient granite or gneiss common in glaciated woodlands. This plaque indicates that the stairway memorializes the former president of the Westfield River Watershed Association, J. Kenneth Taylor. One of the unimproved roads we traveled was Clark Wright Road, which I mistakenly called Skyline Trail.
Oh, somebody's mailbox. Somebody
Yeah.
lives here.
This is called Skyline Trail, and it's at least a little bit more than
Ooh, another cemetery.
one lane here. It's about 1.5 lanes.
It's a bigger cemetery. Yeah, I think it might be a veteran cemetery or something, because there were a lot of flags. Yeah, probably.
Our final stop of the day was Umpachene Falls Park in New Marlborough, Massachusetts. Here's our final stop in Wahconah Falls Park. The park sits at the confluence where the Umpachene River flows into the lazy, sandy bottom Concopat River. It is highly regarded as a serene hidden gem for wading, swimming, and picnicking in the southern Berkshires. The Umpachene Falls Trail is a 0.3 mile out and back walk. It is flat, highly accessible, and takes under 10 minutes to complete. The first part of the trail is a picnic area. And it looks like this is probably a town park or the fire center. A short walk brought us to the bottom of the falls. People were enjoying soaking in the plunge pool at the base.
And these are the falls.
The park is technically a private town-owned property, officially reserved for New Marlborough residents and their guests. Out-of-town visitors are supposedly turned away. However, on the day that we were there, we saw more license plates from New York and Connecticut than from Massachusetts. We next stopped at the midpoint of the falls.
Here's some a little higher up.
Umpachene Falls was formed by the differential erosion over resistant bedrock of the Lower Cambrian to Lower Ordovician Stockbridge Formation. This area features deeply weathered marble and complex quartz-rich schists shaped by ancient tectonic thrusting and glacial retreat. Here is the view from the top of the falls. The falls are named in honor of Aaron Umpachene, a prominent 18th century Mohican leader whose seasonal hunting and gathering camps spanned across this region. At this juncture, I need to point out that I'm unclear on the correct pronunciation of this name. I've seen 7 radically different variations, so feel free to take your pick. As we made our way back home, we became quite peckish and decided to stop for dinner at Alessio's Pizza and Pasta in Westfield, Massachusetts. Known for its cozy atmosphere and affordable prices, this local favorite specializes in thick crust gourmet pizzas, hearty calzones, and traditional pasta dishes. I had a personal size combination pizza. Mary had veal parmesan, and Chris had chicken parmesan. They were all delicious, and we had ample leftovers to take home. We definitely recommend it if you are passing through Westfield. Mary, Chris, and I would like to thank you for watching our recent exploration of waterfalls in Western Massachusetts. Because of time constraints, I chose waterfalls that do not require extensive hiking to view. I only wish we had seen them earlier in the year when the volume of water was larger. I should also point out that I did not find out until we got back home that we weren't really allowed to go to Umpachene Falls Park, as we were not town residents. The caretaker was not present, and there was nothing posted about the restrictions. Not to mention all the cars, save ours, and another that all had out-of-state plates. We hope you enjoyed this recap of our exploits, and hope you'll join us in our future endeavors.